Good morning everyone. Today we are going to study CSS lists. As you all know, lists can be classified as ordered and unordered lists. In ordered lists, marking of the list item is with alphabets and numbers, whereas in unordered lists, the list items are marked using bullets. CSS list properties allows us to make following changes. Specify an image for the marker instead of using the number or bullet point. Control the marker appearance and shape. Place the marker outside or inside the box that contain the list items. Set the background color to list items and lists. The CSS property to style the list are: first, list style type. This property is responsible for controlling the appearance and shape of the marker. List style image. It sets an image for the marker instead of the number or a bullet point. List style position. It specifies the position of the marker. List style. It is the shorthand property of the above properties. So, our very first property is list style type property. It allows us to change the default list type of marker to any other type such as square, circle, Roman numerals, Latin letters, and many more. By default, the ordered list items are numbered with Arabic numerals, and the items in an unordered list are marked with round numbers. So let's see the coding part. I have pre-written the code. I'll explain you the code. So let's start. Under the style tag, I'm using three classes: num, alpha, and Roman. Under num, I'm taking the list style type equals to decimal. Under the alpha class, I am taking the list style type lower alpha. And under the Roman type, I am taking the type as lower Roman. Closing the style tab. Inside the body section, as I am creating ordered list, so I am giving the heading creation of ordered list. As you all know, first class is class num, and the list items are 1, 2, and 3 OL tag rows. Next class is alpha with list items remaining the same 1, 2, and 3, and the last class is Roman. Again, the list items are 1, 2, and 3. You can see that I have already described the classes in the style tab. So, save your code. I have already written the code, so I am just pressing Ctrl S. You can save a new file over it. You can see a ordered list page is created on my desktop. So, let's run this page. Now, you can see the resultant web page with the first list containing decimal numbers, the second list containing the lower alphabets, and the third list containing the Roman numbers. Now let's make the changes to change this list into unordered list. So open your previous code and just change the list type values. In the num class, I am taking the list type as circle. In the alpha class, I am taking the type as disk. And in the Roman class, I am taking the class type as square. I am also changing the heading from unordered to ordered list. List will remain same. Okay. So save the changes by pressing Ctrl S, and you can reload your previous page to see the changes. So you can note the changes. Heading get changed. Your bullets also get replaced with the symbol signs. This was your first property. Now let's move to the next property. Our next property is list style position property. It represents whether the appearing of the marker is inside or outside of the box containing the bullet points. it includes two values, inside or outside. Inside means the bullet points will be in the list items. In this, if the text goes on the second line, then the text will be wrapped under the marker. Outside means the bullet points will be outside the list item. It is the default value. I can explain you by taking just a word example. Let's see that. In this diagram, you can see a box and inside which I have created a numbered list. So, if taking an example of the value position, if it is inside, it will lie inside the imaginary box, and if the value is outside, then the list will be somewhat this type. The list items will be, or the numbers will be outside that imaginary box. Now let's move to the coding part. I'm working on the same code. I will just add a list position property over here. List style position value equals to inside. As the default value is outside, so I am taking for the first class position equals to inside. I can copy the code and just change the value. For the next class, the list style position value is outside. So let's see the changes. First, press Ctrl S to save the changes. Reload your page. You can see our list cat gets displayed towards the inside. This means the position is inside over here, as the default position is outside the same. So second list remains unchanged. Moving on to the next property. Our next property is the list style image property. It specifies an image as the marker. Using this property, we can set the image bullets. Its syntax is similar to the background image property. If it does not find the corresponding image, the default bullets will be used. Or in the simple language, we can say we are replacing our numbers, alphabets or sign symbols within small image. So let's move to the code. So I'm opening my previous code only and making changes over here. Now the list style type will be changed to list style image with the value URL and the image name which you want to use as the bullets. I'm taking my saved image. Save the changes and you can reload your page to see the changes. Now you can see my circle symbol get replaced with the images. One thing that must be noted down, this image should be small in size or thumbnail size image. Now moving to the next property. Our next property is list style property. It is a shorthand property that is used to set all list properties in one expression. The order of the values of this property is first type, then position and image. So let's move on to the coding section. In this code you can see that I am referring to an image with a separate line. Position is also written in the separate line. Using list style property, these get eliminated by a single line. So the property name was list style. I'm first using the type. I'm taking the type lower alpha. then the position value that was inside, and next the image which I want to use, URL. So we can see the three value gets combined in a single line. You can also make changes to the next class. Suppose I am using the type disk with the position outside. As I am not using the image, so I can skip the image part. Save your code. And either rerun your file or reload the file. You can see no changes can be seen. You can rerun your file by closing it with the new list. Let's make small changes so that you can see the changes over it. Suppose I am taking the value inside. Save the changes. Now you can see the second list also get displayed towards the inner side. Now moving on to the next property. Our last property is styling list with colors. Simply if we want to make colored list, so we can make use of this property. So let's move on to the code. I have rewritten the code. Let's explain you the code. Under the style tag, I am using an order class where the list style is upper alpha and the background color is pink. Under the order class, for the list items, I am taking dot order, list tag, then background color is light blue, padding defines you the position, font size defines you the size of the text, and margin defines you the distance between the bullets and actual list items. So, for the background color, I am taking the light blue color. For padding, I am taking 10 pixels, font size 20 pixels, margin 10 pixels. Again, I am creating an unordered list for which I am creating an unordered class where the list style is square and position is inside, background is cyan color and padding is 20 pixels. For the list items of the unordered list, I am taking a background color green, the text color is white, padding is 10 pixels, font size is 20 pixels. Style tag close. Inside the body tag, I am creating two lists. First is order list. For as I have mentioned, class order. And the list items are 1, 2 and 3. For an unordered list is given the heading. Class is unordered. Again the list items are 1, 2 and 3. Save the code. You can see a color list web page on my desktop. Let's run it. Now you can see the resultant pages. As I am using the background color pink with the list background color blue, and in the unordered list the background color used was cyan, and for the list green was used and the text color was used white. So these were your lists with the CSS. Thank you so much.